back to my channel. My name is Ariana Womack. For those who do not know, I am a mom of 4 and I am into health, fitness, nutrition, food, and just fun and mom life, and that is what this channel is all about. So thank you if you are back and you have subscribed and you are here to watch another video. I am so grateful to have you guys watching and supporting what I am trying to do and build and create. And if you are new here, hi and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about, does food affect our mental health? So we're going to get into that, kind of some foods that are going to boost your mood, some foods and ingredients to stay away from. If you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos. And then of course hit the notification bell because I do post every Friday and Monday. So let's go ahead and get into, does food affect our mental health and or our mood? So when we're talking about food, food is going to be different for everyone in general. So everyone is different, so no matter what you eat, it could work for you and not work for someone else. But there are some ingredients in some foods that are going to affect our mental health as a whole and in general as a population. That yes, food can affect your mood and how you respond, how you think, how you act. Our gut is like our second brain. So whenever we are eating certain things, you may notice that you get a tummy ache, you start to feel bad or just not feel very like yourself anymore. You kind of feel weighed down and tired, and that could be because of the food you are consuming. Also, along with certain foods affecting our mood and affecting how we feel, it also affects our blood sugar. So if our blood sugar is going up and down in spikes, it can make us feel tired or sluggish or just not feel like ourselves at all because of the spikes in the blood sugar. It's not staying at a balanced level. So anything that is not balanced, of course, it's going to make you feel iffy. So when you eat sugar, it's known to give you a boost of like, ooh, energy and hyperness, especially in children, and it helps, or it makes them feel like they've got all this energy, and then you know there comes the crash. So that is the drop in your blood sugar, and that is what's going to make you feel tired and sluggish and get ready to take a nap and not feel good. So one way food can affect us is if we aren't paying attention to if it is low glycemic or high glycemic. That just means how much on a scale of 1 to 100, it's telling you how quickly that food is getting absorbed into your bloodstream and how long it's going to take for it to be absorbed. If you're looking at a glycemic index, obviously the foods that are on the lower ends are going to be the ones that help you maintain that balance of blood sugar and are released more slowly into your bloodstream. So when it's released more slowly into your bloodstream, it's allowing you to stay fuller longer, have that extra energy, and it's not going to go away as quickly as in a higher glycemic index food. So if you don't know or aren't familiar with the GI index, you can look that up online, and there's a lot of lists out there that'll let you know what area a certain food is in. Also, along with that, in our gut we have good and bad bacteria. So obviously we need some good bacteria to help regulate our gut and help get those bad things out. But when we overconsume on the foods that are not good for us, such as sugar and highly processed foods, then that bad bacteria can start to take over, and that can make us start to feel tired again, sluggish, irritated, moody, and it can just make you not feel like your usual self. It can also lead to inflammation and disease, which none of us want to have any diseases, right? So it's really important, again, to pay attention to what we're intaking, because again, if our gut is out of balance, we are going to feel out of balance. So again, yes, food can affect your mood and how you feel, but we don't want to just limit it obviously to just food, because there's other life factors that are going on in our lives that can be more of an impact. But if you are being aware of what you're eating and what you're taking in, and you don't have any major mental health or issues that are going on, outside of food, then you should be able to take care of your mood and stabilize everything with your food and your diet and what you're intaking. But again, I'm not a health professional, so of course, talk to your physician, talk to your nutritionist, talk to people who are in these careers that can give you more of an educated answer. But as far as us eating food, it does affect our mood, and we just want to pay attention also to the outside factors, because food may not be the only thing that's making us feel moody, irritated, or tired. But with that being said, let's get into the ingredients that we should avoid, okay? So the main ingredients that we should avoid in our food is ultra processed food, chemicals, additives, sugary foods, anything like that. That's going to lead to inflammation and disease, and there are plenty of studies out there that you can look up and actually do your own research. I am one of those people who goes to do their own research, so I encourage you to do the same, so you can get your own opinion on it. Another thing besides food that can really affect you is if you are dehydrated. So if we're not consuming enough water, it's going to affect our brain and how we can think and concentrate. So we want to make sure that we are getting enough fluids in our body. Of course, sodas, those are straight sugar. It's got high fructose corn syrup in it, all these ingredients that are not good for our body. To make sure that we're steering clear from soda if we can as possible. And then juices. Juices are okay if you're paying attention again to the sugar content and the ingredients. Because juice can be another factor that has lots of sugar. And again, if we're consuming sugar over and over and over again, more than our healthier food options, is going to lead to inflammation in the body, and inflammation in the end is going to lead towards disease, and that's what we want to steer clear from. When trying to stay hydrated, another thing is make sure when you're doing your water, I suggest filtered water or spring water, just because spring water is coming from a natural source of water. These purified waters and bottled waters have been through a process, again, in a warehouse, and we have no idea what they're adding to them. There are a lot of videos that you could probably look up on YouTube about them doing tests on bottled water with pH strips, and they're showing you that certain bottled water higher acidity and they're not very neutral, which means that it's actually dehydrating you instead of hydrating you. So I recommend using a water filter, which I use a Brita filter. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it works great and it's lasted me so long right now. But look those up because those are good, or any water filter that just takes majority of the chemicals out of the water, because we want to steer clear from tap water in general. The first ingredient I have to kind of steer clear from is canola oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, vegetable oil. All of these oils contain GMOs now, which is genetically modified ingredients, and it leads to inflammation in the body. So when you are cooking these oils at a very high temperature, there's something called hexane that will be released, and this again is affecting the body. So it's not good to cook with these oils. If you are wanting to cook with a healthier oil option, there are some health professionals that are saying avocado oil, and then coconut oil, of course, is a very good one. And then I use extra virgin olive oil. But when you are going to the store to look for certain olive oils, you want to make sure it says virgin. And then if you're going to fry or bake something, make sure it says for frying or baking, because if you're using just plain old virgin olive oil that's for salads, when you cook that, it's actually releasing a cancerous chemical that is going to harm your body as well. So just make sure that you're paying attention again to the fine print and the ingredients on the bottle. Margarine. Margarine is like that fake butter, so that is not good for our bodies as well. It is also pro-inflammatory, which again, inflammation leads to disease. So you want to stick with the real made from dairy butter if you even eat butter. So again, margarine you want to steer clear from. Next up, we have artificial food dyes, which these lead to hyperactivity in children. They are cancerous, they cause tumors, and they can actually cause allergic reactions. So The artificial food dyes are going to, when you're looking at the label, it's going to have a color and then a number beside it. So if you see any of that, of course, some colors are worse than others, but in my mind, it's all the same. So if you can, steer clear from artificial food dyes, and believe it or not, they put it in a lot of foods. So just make sure you're paying attention to, again, what you're buying. Along with artificial food dyes, we have artificial sweeteners. So artificial sweeteners have been linked to weight gain and then also tumors and cancer as well. So those artificial sweeteners are like the little Splenda packs or the pink or blue packs that you see either at the restaurants or in the stores. They try to say to substitute it for regular sugar, but I use cane sugar, pure cane sugar if you can. Again, do your own research and see which sugar is best for you, because there's some others that have come out on the market that I have yet to even research or touch. Next is unbleached flour. So I know a lot of us go to the store and we just pick up whatever flour that we see, but you want to make sure that you get unbleached flour. So my bad, the correct ingredient to stay away from is bleached flour, because that means that all of the nutrients have been stripped from that flour and it's basically just a chemical white powder substance that you're using. So again, you want to look for unbleached flour. Next we have yogurt. So yogurt is a tricky one. I used to think yogurt was really healthy, and of course you see all of the commercials that are like, oh yeah, eat yogurt for breakfast. But again, pay attention to the sugar content. So I know a lot of brands in the store are adding sugar to make up for the flavor of yogurt. But again, it's not supposed to have that much sugar in it. And again, sugar leads to inflammation. Inflammation leads to what? Disease. So again, we want to limit the sugar to the smallest possible amount that we can. And if you actually want to have sweeter yogurt, you can add honey or maple syrup into it, and it'll make it just as sweet. And also you just add some berries and stuff to it, and it'll make it real good. Next is our pancake syrup. So growing up, I used the regular pancake syrup that was just on the shelf, you know, the cheapest kind that you can get. But then as I got older and got into nutrition, I realized that pancake syrup is not real syrup. It's a bunch of high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors and caramel coloring, all this stuff that's just added together to make it seem like it's a pancake syrup, but it's not real maple syrup. So real maple syrup is on the more expensive side, but again, if you pay attention and if you buy the healthier foods now, you'll spend less in your illness and all of those bills later on in life. So what we're trying to do is prevent disease, and this will help. So if you don't eat pancakes or use syrup a lot all of the time, then that's great. You can spend the money and then have it in your shelf for however long the date says. But if you do consume pancake syrup that's just on the shelf on the regular, that is not good, that has a high fructose corn syrup in, I would suggest switching it or just dialing back, because it does have a lot of ingredients in it that again is going to lead to disease. So nitrites and nitrates, these are going to be on your packaged meats. So your hot dogs, your bacon, your sausage. These are going to be the things that they add to preserve or to make extended shelf life. But these are also going to be additives that can cause cancer, that again lead to disease, inflammation. So we want to make sure, again, steer clear. Are trans fats. So trans fats, once again, we look at the back of the label, the nutrition label, it'll have trans fat, and I think it may have like saturated fat or something like that. But the trans fat is what can lead to heart disease. So this is the stuff that will clog your arteries and make it hard for your blood to flow and get to the areas it needs in the body. So again, just make sure you're looking at the trans fat and making sure it is at the lowest gram possible or lowest number possible. And then another one is sodium benzoate. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but when that combines with other ingredients that are in those certain foods, it can lead to cancer, ADHD, and hyperactivity, and I'm sure some other things as well. So I know that was a lot. That was a lot of ingredients to steer clear from, but now that we got through the ingredients that we steer clear from, let's talk about some of the foods that are going to boost our moods and actually help us. I'm going to list all of these so that you can see the spelling of them. Also, If you have any other ingredients to add to the list to steer clear from, please go ahead and drop them below, because I may not have listed everything here, and I would love to hear if there was something that I might have missed, because I know there is. There's way too many ingredients out here. Again, I want to remind us not to be too picky. Of course, everything is in moderation, and we want to keep a balance. So if you can steer clear from these items, I know that I do my best, because there are other items on the market that you can buy and they don't have all these horrible ingredients in them. So again, do what you can. Don't feel bad if you can't limit everything, or if you just want to start with one ingredient. That is fine. Just make sure that you're doing the best you can for your health, and again, in moderation. We don't want to overdo these things, anything really. The foods that can boost your mood are salmon, dark leafy vegetables, green vegetables. These are going to help with the cells in our body to actually fight against those cancers and all those diseases that are trying to get leaked into our body. Chia seeds, lentils, avocados. Avocados are really good for the fat, the polyunsaturated fat that we need, the monounsaturated fat, omegas that we need in our body. That's the healthy fat. So it's not the trans fat. This is actually, because your body does need fat to thrive. It needs carbs, protein, fats in order to get the body's job done, because fat is actually what helps our bodies and our bones have a cushion. So our organs need a sort of a cushion, so when we're moving around and stuff, they're not just bumping up against each other. So there is a need for fat. We just want the right healthy vegetables, of course, which are our whole nutrient dense foods. It can be bell peppers, asparagus, things of that nature. Our fermented foods, which are like kefir, sauerkrauts. Those foods are really good for our gut and help our good bacteria thrive. And then we have almonds and dark chocolate. So a lot of people say chocolate is good, but it's really the dark chocolate, because the dark chocolate has properties in the food or in the chocolate that's actually going to help boost your brain. It's going to help with your other cells in your body. On my list, of course, I have sunflower seeds and I have sweet potatoes. So these are all very good foods. Of course, your fruits, your mangoes, your pineapples, strawberries, blueberries, fruits in general, just whole nutrient dense foods. That's what we want to go after, our grains, and just making sure that, again, we are eating the best foods for our bodies. So that's just a few of the list for good foods to boost your brain and your mood. But just remember that you can do your own research. You can find the foods that work for you. All of those foods I listed may not work for everyone. Some of you may not like them, and that's okay. You don't have to eat it just because it's good for you. You can find other sources of food with the same nutrients in it, and it'll help your body just as well. But if you are having problems with your mood, your irritability, and you know it's not nothing major, I would check on your diet first and see if you're consuming the highly processed foods, the sugar foods, and try and dial it back and see how you feel. You can also keep a food diary, so after every time you eat something, you can write that down and then just pay attention to how you're feeling afterwards. If you're really serious about it, I would suggest doing the food diary, but of course, I know people say we're limited on time, but if you really want something, you'll do it. So again, I encourage you to do your own research, and I hope this video helped because it certainly would have helped me in the beginning if I knew these things beforehand. And of course, I want us all to thrive and be the healthiest that we can be. So again, I hope that this video was good for you. If you think that it helped you, or you thought that it was great information, please leave a comment below. And then if you'd like to see more videos like this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below, and also I will link all of my resources that I got my information from to tell you about today in the description below. So if you'd like to check out those articles, you can do so. And I hope you have a healthy, happy day, and I can't wait to see you on the next video. Talk to you soon. See ya.